welcome back. What a sight that is. Wembley is alive, resplendent in blue and red. It's a day to focus on the cup. However, Southampton players may have heard that Burnley have equalised against Stoke in the league. But today is all about the cup, and it's about a one-off shot at glory, regardless of how poor the league campaign has been. What's the key for Southampton, Franny?
He is winning today. It would give a huge, obviously the prize at stake is massive, going through to a final against United, but an opportunity to get some much-needed confidence back into the league form as well.
For Chelsea,
focus, do the right things, use this atmosphere. Every player on the pitch has to do that, but Chelsea, yes, this is what they're relying on for silverware this year, so it's a massive game.
And the atmosphere is special. It's about making the atmosphere work in your favour, not be overawed by it.
Yeah, of course, it's important to start the game well and try and get your nose in front. You know, if you can get that early goal and keep your fans up for most of the game, it certainly helps you.
All right, gentlemen, thank you for your company. Right, let's hand you over to our commentary team then. Jermaine Genius, Glenn Hoddle and Ian Darker with you for this one. What an atmosphere, guys.
Yeah, good afternoon, Jake. Good afternoon, everybody. Yes, these players will hate it, would go down and win the FA Cup in the same year, just as Wigan did 5 years ago when they shocked Manchester City in the final. For Chelsea, it's all about this now, winning the FA Cup. All other avenues blocked off. Just an outside chance, a very outside chance of the top four. So let's have a check on the two teams for you. And Chelsea go with Olivier Giroud after his two-goal display against Southampton last week. But Alvaro Morata, who played alongside him at Burnley in midweek, is left out as Eden Hazard and Willian predictably return to the starting lineup, along with Cesc Fabregas. Regular cup keeper Willy Caballero is in goal. More surprisingly, Chelsea's number one, Thibaut Courtois, is not even on the bench, and he's not injured. Eduardo is the deputy keeper. Southampton spring a bit of a surprise, leaving out their playmaker and creative force Dusan Tadic. James Ward-Prowse is also dropped as Mark Hughes beefs up his midfield with Mario Lemina. The reshuffle means that Charlie Austin will play up top alongside Shane Long. And for a fact, Austin hasn't played in the FA Cup for 3 years now. Ryan Bertrand and Romeo playing against their old club here, of course. Here's Glenn Hoddle with his analysis of how this might pan out tactically.
For Chelsea, and I think it's good to see Gary Cahill playing in that central three. He's got Rudiger and Quetta either side of him. He's much better when he's in the balanced situation. Giroud up front, that's not a shock with the 2 goals that he scored last week, but he's got to bring Hazard and Willian into play. As for Mark Hughes in Southampton, well, I think Mark's been very bold and very brave, looking to play Austin and Long in the same team, and he's going for it. I think he's going to match them with a back three and 2 wing backs as well, but that little bit of change will be the 2 up front. Long will get wide at times, but they're going for it.
Well, one of many young players who would have been emotional about the news of Arsene Wenger leaving Arsenal at the end of the season with Cesc Fabregas, who was an FA Cup winner with Arsenal when he was just 18 years of age in 2005. Charlie Austin recalled to the starting lineup, and is a measure of Southampton's problems this season that he's still their top scorer with 7 goals, having missed 3 months of the campaign with a hamstring injury. Martin Atkinson is in charge, and the VAR is in operation. Mike Jones will be in charge of that, should there be any controversies. And we have Graham Poll with us, and also another man who knows Wembley very well, Jermaine Genius. What are you expecting?
I'm expecting, obviously, a fierce and feisty affair. I think Southampton seems to have bolstered up their midfield, and rightly so. You know, that's where the battles are going to be won. I expect Cesc Fabregas to be getting on the ball and trying to dictate the tempo of this game, but I also like Chelsea's option to go with Giroud at the start to hold up that ball and bring in the likes of Willian and Eden Hazard.
Southampton, of course, beaten a little unluckily by common consent in the League Cup final last year against Manchester United, when Manolo Gabbiadini, who's on the bench today, got both their goals. Chelsea beaten finalists a year ago against Arsenal, and on that day they didn't really turn up. and play in the way that they had been for most of that season. Eight days ago, these two sides met, of course, in the Premier League. And Southampton had much the better of it for 70 minutes. They were 2-0 up, and Chelsea got 3 in 9 minutes to turn it round and put Southampton into even deeper trouble at the bottom of the Premier League. They're really staring down the barrel now with only 4 games left. Lamina with the header forward for Southampton. Interesting to see whether the combination of Long and Austin can pose Chelsea big problems. That's Cedric picking the ball up for Southampton. European champion, of course, in his days as a Portuguese international. Long won the header. One thing he'll be is very, very busy up there. He just won't stop working.
Yeah, definitely that, and already he'll be happy with the fact that Charlie Austin's a bit closer to him for when he's making those runs into the channel. You just saw there, yes, Cahill wins the initial header, but Charlie Austin's there to support and collect that second ball, and I expect himself and Shane Long to be making those types of runs to cause Gary Cahill, that central figure within the back three, a few problems this afternoon.
And Cesc Fabregas will be there to provide the creative passes from midfield. Højbjerg to pick it up here. Looking for that return ball as well. That's Conte doing the covering as usual. Moses, who scored the winner at Burnley on Thursday. Chelsea played well there, but they have been a bit erratic this season, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah, they've lacked that consistency, haven't they? Just see Giroud here getting fouled. Just comes in behind. There's no need really to put his hands on him, but it's important that Giroud holds the ball up. He's playing in that central role on his own there. Willian and Hazard are get round him, but he needs to hold that ball up for Chelsea today.
Antonio Conte has told his Chelsea players to play with fire in their eyes. There's all the speculation about whether he will be around even at Stamford Bridge next season. He's never won the cup as a manager, neither has Mark Hughes. This is Emerson. Did well as a starter. Of course, Marcos Alonso is suspended for Chelsea at the moment. Retrospective ban for a horrible challenge in the game against Southampton last week, which was missed by the referee. It didn't do Southampton too much good on the day, of course. They could have been playing with 10 men had it been picked up at the time.
Yeah, it's a big miss for Chelsea, but they've gone with Emerson, who's got the left peg and gets that balance. Sometimes they've played Azpilicueta over here or Zavacosta, but they've gone with that little balance of his left foot to try and get Hazard into the game as well.
Yeah, I agree. It's a much better option having a naturally left-sided player on this side, especially with the movement that Eden Hazard likes. He likes to go inside with the ball and try and link up with Giroud, which then it kind of just opens up that flank for Emerson to run into.
Here's Azpilicueta, who has 6 assists to his name in the Premier League this season, but they've all been for his mate Alvaro Morata, who's not in the starting lineup here.
Well, I think you'll see here, because Southampton are going to play with Austin and Long, and Austin's dropping in really on the central midfield players. Azpilicueta will come out on the ball. In the last third, he's quite dangerous. He just got a block there, but that's something as the game develops. Giroud will pull out onto that far post, you'd imagine.
Hazard! He's a firecracker. Not too far away either.
Oh, he's really got hold of this one. I have to say, it was a decent little bit of play initially between himself and Giroud. Quick 1-2. I mean, to hit it that cleanly with his left foot shows you the type of confidence that he's playing with and the confidence that he's in. McCarthy's got absolutely no chance of stopping that.
Says he's determined to win the FA Cup at last. He's been with Chelsea 6 years. Hasn't happened yet. By the way, Chelsea wearing the black armbands. You'll notice that's in memory of their 1955 title-winning captain Roy Bentley, who died at the age of 93 this week. It's a hot all day down there 25 degrees centigrade it was measured at pitch side.
I think the good thing is that they've watered the pitch heavily before the game, and that will give a nice little quick surface for both teams to zip that ball around.
Perish the thought a team should have to play on a dry pitch.
Ask Mr. Klopp that.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
I know where he was coming from though.
Yeah,
it does make a difference, JJ, doesn't it?
A huge difference.
Yeah.
You know, just being able to just zip those passes in. You know, the amount it slows down the game when the pitch is dry. It helps the opposition when you're trying to put together those quick moves.
There's Cedric. Wing back role, as is Ryan Bertrand. That's beaten Cahill, and Charlie Austin was trying to capitalise.
That is typical Charlie. Look, any other thought here is trying to get him behind, but the ball goes too long. Long makes Cahill miss the ball, but he's just thinking of getting a shot in. Most players would take a touch there, bring it back down and look for support, but that's Charlie Austin for you. He's thinking goals every time he gets that ball.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I don't mind that either. Southampton's getting away with that one.
Well, he set it beautifully, didn't he? With his right foot, he set it on his left perfectly well, and inches away from the first goal.
Got 2 in the semi-final last year against Tottenham when Chelsea won 4-2, and I got left out of the starting lineup for the final. Yeah. Guess that's the way it goes sometimes.
His career's been a bit like that at Chelsea, I found. You know, this season, even when he has broke through, you always feel like he's one of those players that could possibly get taken off at certain stages during the game, but he's been brilliant.
Here he is on the chase now. Great burst of pace. Couldn't quite keep his balance there as he tried to hit the byline and create more havoc.
Well, he's shown Yoshida a clean pair of heels there, the way he just ghosted by him. He's got very lucky with the fact that he lost his footing because he was in. It was a simple ball across the box to, I think, Giroud, who was waiting.
That's what he's got as well. He's got that pace off the ball. Normally you think of him having balls to his feet, his tricks and his shots, but there he showed great pace to get in behind.
Moses was able to cut it out. Chris William was great, wasn't he? Best player for Chelsea that year after they'd won the title, when there were all kinds of problems going on, but week in, week out, he played tremendously.
Yeah, very much so, and that's when you get tested as a player, and there's a few went walkabout, but not him. He was far easily their best player in that year. It was a difficult season for him.
Here's Aspilicueta to Gary Cahill, who was injured the last time Chelsea won the cup in 2012. Didn't play the final. Fabregas. Williams' little layoff. Chelsea and their fans hoping that they're on one of their going days today. Here's Emerson. Southampton did keep a clean sheet in midweek on Thursday at Leicester. How valuable that point might be in the final calculations, we'll find out soon enough. Moses.
It's a good block by Bertrand. It's going to be interesting to see how this battle develops between Victor Moses and Ryan Bertrand. Obviously, at St Mary's in the Premier League, Bertrand got a lot of joy down that left-hand side, but it was Zappacosta that was playing in that particular game. Victor Moses did come on and have an impact, but it's down that left-hand side where they're very positive, Southampton.
Trying to mark Hughes there. Because he could be a quiz question. He was knocked out the FA Cup in round 3 as the Stoke manager, could win it. And it was that defeat that basically was the final straw at Stoke. He lost his job and he's turned up at Southampton. Here he is in the semi-final. His only win so far in the FA Cup at Wigan in the quarter-final. Great record as a player, of course, in the FA Cup, scoring in 2 finals and winning 4. One of them with Chelsea, the other 3 with Manchester United, of course. Rudiger. Aspilicueta. to Fabregas again. Bednarek got a head on it. He's the defender who came in and scored on his Premier League debut against Chelsea last week. He's in because Jack Stevens is serving the final game of his ban here.
It's a nice option that Giroud gives you, especially as a midfield player when those tight balls are not quite on. You know, you can just dink one into his chest.
Southampton a little bit asleep on the short corner routine. There's Moses, sent off in last year's final. Hazard skipped through two players almost like they weren't there. Falling to Fabregas here, cut back, Hazard's in here. Tremendous recovery challenge from Yoshida there. My goodness me, that was some very, very fine defensive work.
It really was. I mean, Hazard started this game brilliantly, I have to say, but that last-ditch tackle from Yoshida, the goal looked inevitable, but he managed to just hook his leg round and block it.
This is Emerson. Not with all he was intended. Charlie Austin having to come very, very deep to carve out. It's virtually the whole game being played in one half at the moment.
That's the problem that Charlie's got. He's coming so deep to try and bolster up that midfield for Southampton, but when he won it there, he had no options whatsoever.
This is towards Giroud, who brought it down very well indeed. Again, Yoshida did just about enough. Back to Hazard. Pressure growing on this Southampton defence at the moment. N'Golo Kanté. Free kick given on the edge.
Yeah, the pressure's mounting now. I mean, in that midfield area, one of them needs to make a decision who's going to get hold of Cesc Fabregas. You know that he's the one that's going to be dictating play. He's the danger man. Just see the clear foul there from Bernadette. Going in on Kanté and taking him out, and this is another dangerous situation. When you've got players like Willian, I mean, they wish that Alonso was on the pitch right now because he's deadly from these situations, but Willian has got equal quality.
Willian scored with a free kick in last year's semi against Tottenham.
This is a perfect position for him. Right foot. Chelsea put three players in behind the wall. Look.
Yeah.
You'll see that in a minute. They've got three players designated to make it difficult for the keeper. Four players now.
Well, we know Willian can do it from there because we've seen him do it before.
They've now gone in and joined the wall, so it makes it really difficult for McCarthy.
It is Willian. Not quite.
It was always going to be difficult to get it up and down in time. I'm surprised he didn't test the keeper on his side with pace. It's a big wall and he didn't get it too far wrong.
It wasn't far. This is Hazard. He started so sharp, isn't he? Fabregas's little ball, great defending. Great defending from Yoshida. Nice touch. It's not about a bad touch. It's just very, very good first-class defending. And you just feel Southampton have got to get hold of the ball and have some possession to ease the pressure on them.
That really was good work from Manu Yoshida, who will be with Japan at the World Cup, placing Robert Lewandowski, Sadio Mane, among others, in the group. Nice easy tune then. Here's Lamina, trying to find a foothold in the game, really, Southampton. Hoops plays it wide to Ryan Bertrand, who of course was in Chelsea's Champions League winning team against Bayern Munich. A surprise selection, but he really played well that night.
Well's an understatement, given the kind of the size of the game and what it was for him, given being his first, I think it was his first Champions League appearance for Chelsea. So it was a sensational night for Ryan Bertrand.
Arsenal 3-1 up against West Ham. Ramsey and Lacazette putting Arsenal in charge. There must be quite an emotional day for obvious reasons at the Emirates. Southampton will want to know, of course, how their relegation rivals Stoke City are getting on. That's 1-1 against Burnley. 4 games to go. Mark Hughes has never been relegated as player or manager. Against this time, it's a meteor challenge from Romeo.
It's a wonderful challenge, wasn't it? See, Emerson just overruns it a tad, but he's there. That just goes a little bit ahead of him, but what a great tackle. Times it to perfection. And,
no complaints from Emerson as well, which is nice to see. Gets up, get on with it.
Is Azpilicueta. Towards Willian. Much cherished by Brazil. He played in all but one of their World Cup qualifiers as they stormed away with the South American group.
Again, though, there you can see Cesc Fabregas with time to go left, go right, get his head up, try and pick out a run of Giroud. It's something that Southampton need to be aware of, because you give Cesc that much time on the ball, at some point he's going to punish you.
it's frustrating for a midfield player as well, because he's got time and space, and you want your striker to go in behind. Giroud's looking to feet. There's no reason. It makes him look silly.
Well, he's got Willian and Hazard to feet if he wants them.
Yeah.
Here is Willian. They took the free kick quickly. Willian was strong. This is a dynamic run from him. He couldn't pick up the run of Olivier Giroud. There's a bit of an inquest between the two players about that.
Yeah, in fairness, I think Willian got that one wrong that time. Yes, Giroud pulls out to the right-hand side, but he's just asking for a bit more patience. Just hold on to him. Let something else develop. Let another gap appear for me before you play that ball, is what I think Giroud is asking for Willian.
Champions League in midweek, Liverpool's big semi-final against Roma. That's at 7 o'clock BT Sport 2 HD and 4K UHD. And the following night, Bayern Munich against Real Madrid, the other semi-final. Another absolutely mouth-watering tie. What a signing he's proved on the team week in, week out, and usually it's 7 out of 10 every time, or more. Into Lamina, just over a hamstring injury to be fit in time for this game. Are you surprised they left out Dusan Tadic? I was.
Yes, without a doubt. I think he's gone for a little bit more energy, the shape of the team. He wants to try and put some pressure on Chelsea. Well, they've got to improve on that, Mark Hughes has. But no, Tadic for me is one that can open the door, and they need a bit of possession. Southampton haven't had the ball up. They're making unforced errors. They haven't started this game too well.
Yeah, I totally agree. He's the link as well, Tadic, usually. You know, for those midfielders, the link between, you know, from midfield to centre forward, he's the one who you're trying to find. I think this lineup almost lends itself for you to just go long, almost a lot of the time. Miss out your centre forwards, go into Charlie Austin and Shane Long and play for the second balls. Get your midfielders battling for the second ball in there, and they're not really doing either at the minute. No possession, and they're not going long.
It's a bit of a survival exercise at the moment, really, for Southampton. Azpilicueta lays it forward again towards Willian. Arsenal got another goal. Again, it's Alexander Lacazette, and they lead West Ham 4-1 now. The Hammers not completely out of the relegation argument, but nearly. It's away by Bednarek for Southampton. Long by Cahill. You can see the idea, trying to pick up that angled run from Moses.
Yeah, it was a good run from Moses, but the ball had to be spot on. It was a difficult pass to achieve, but good movement from Moses.
Conte has been more subdued, I think it's fair to say, this season on the sidelines, but that is a comparative phrase, of course.
I'm not sure he's going to be there next year. I really don't. He's not as passionate as he was in his first season, that's for sure.
Well, I think the betting is he won't be, isn't it? That's what most observers seem to think, and nobody from Chelsea is coming forward to say anything different.
Hey, listen, he wants to go out on a high note. He wants to win this FA Cup. There's no doubt about that. He's got that passion, but for the long term, I don't think he's going to be right for Chelsea. He's made that decision.
Might be an interesting summer in London and elsewhere, but then again, it usually is, isn't it? Everybody trying to regroup for the new season, but some of the issues of this season not settled yet, including who wins the FA Cup. Manchester United waiting in the final for the winners of this. Højbjerg with the layoff, but not an accurate one. Sloppy from Southampton, really, that losing possession in that area.
It really is. They haven't had enough possession anyway, but when you've got a throw-in in the last third, keep the ball. They keep giving it away, even from throw-ins.
It would be understandable if confidence and belief was low with Southampton. They've only won one of their last 21 Premier League games. That's why they're in trouble. Romeo won the header. Conte wanted it and was fouled. That is a result now, by the way. Stoke needed more than that in their position. 1-1 against Burnley, and they were ahead in that game too.
Yeah, it's 2 games that have got away from them, you'd have to say. You know, being so close to winning the game at West Ham last week and losing it again today. Could be it.
And Burnley are hoping that Southampton get knocked out here, because that's the only scenario, by the looks of things, that will stop them going into Europe. Southampton winning the cup. Cedric. To Lamina,
you see,
the Juventus player.
That's the problem right there. You know, Lamina's got the ball, centre midfield, drive forward. You know, drive towards the heart of that Chelsea defence. He kind of goes wide, and then you've got your 2 centre forwards that are waiting for crosses, essentially. You know, no one's really looking to come to the ball and link up as Tadic would. But, you know, rightly so. I want my centre forwards to be getting crosses into the box, but he's got to drive forward there. He's took the easy option to go wide.
There's not many options as well, JJ. There's the movement for Southampton off the ball. You just see Bertrand there going in behind, spinning. That's what they've got to do. They've got to make some more movement going in behind, and then one of the strikers could come off. At the moment, it's all in straight lines.
That's a clever piece of play by Conte. Unusual season, he's not going to win the title this year. Lamina here with a chance to shoot, and does. Caballero, who's been almost unemployed so far, able to save with some ease. Willian, who's hit the bar already. Fabregas. Hazard. Hazard again. He was terrific when he came on the other night at Burnley. An electric little cameo. Here he is again now. Hazard hits the byline, cuts it back. Giroud is attacking it on that near post.
It's absolutely brilliant from Eden Hazard. He's just so composed on the ball. He draws in defenders and waits for his opportunity there. He just bursts to life. And now you're one-on-one in the box. He's a nightmare to deal with. I think it just comes off Giroud's knee and goes out for a goal kick. But anytime the ball goes into Eden Hazard, you just know something's going to happen.
He's got that little change of pace, isn't he? The ball inside, he's gone. Just couldn't pick up. To be fair, Southampton defended that well. He was looking up, hit the byline. There was no spare blue shirt to pass to.
He remains goalless, though Chelsea have been in charge of developments so far without anything to show for it. Apologies from Caballero. Bit surprised that they've not even got Courtois on the bench today.
Yeah,
Chelsea.
it's a strange one. Unless there's something that's happened in training, maybe yesterday, I don't know. But
no, the word from Chelsea is he's fit.
Well, that is strange.
No surprise Caballero's in goal. He is the regular cup goalkeeper, but I thought Courtois might be the deputy. Back to Yoshida, who's already done some important work back there for the Saints. Bednarak, Pole, who hasn't had much of a look in this season until just lately. Southampton's problem really is over the last 4 years they've sold around £280 million worth of players, and I suppose there's always going to come a time when that will catch up with you.
It's been happening for some time, isn't it? Southampton Football Club, they've produced some wonderful players, they really have, and bought them cheap and sold them on. But
you'd still feel, though, Glenn, with this squad, they'd have more than enough to not be in the position they're in the Premier League, given the amount of quality that they've sold.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Top 8 last 4 seasons before this. Well, Claude Puel last season after he'd finished 8th.
That's what I was just going to say. I'm scratching my head still that Claude Puel was sacked. I really am, and I think that they're going to regret that.
Azpilicueta inside the Cesc Fabregas. The deep lying playmaker role, Fabregas. Lovely little flick from Hazard towards William, but it's all too congested. Midfield making it hard for Chelsea to plot a way through. Højbjerg's ball, nothing at all really that Shane Long was able to do with that.
It's another good recovery, though. You know, you don't mind kind of trying things, trying to go through in between the lines. When your midfield can recover as quick as they can, like Chelsea did, and force Southampton into making mistakes, you don't mind giving it away in those types of situations.
Yeah, you almost feel that when Southampton win it in those positions in the midfield, they've got to play a first 15-yard ball. They're looking to play 30, 40 yards because they've got no options.
There's Hazard again. To Conte. Not a possession, not too many chances for Chelsea, not at the moment. Fabregas. Getting it's cut out in that midfield. Maybe Southampton's belief will start to grow a little. It's one for Long to chase here. Rudiger does enough with his knee in the end.
By the rules, the keeper can pick that up. I don't know why he hasn't picked that up. He's passed it back. I think Rudiger's saying to him, "Could have used your hands."
He preferred not to take the chance, didn't he?
Well, it's not really a chance if you know the rules.
Yeah. And maybe he didn't see it was off his knee.
What was interesting about that move is the ball came from Charlie Austin. He knows exactly what they're both looking for, the type of service that they're both looking for. He hit it first time in the channel, knowing that Shane Long was going to be making that run.
Hazard. Fabregas. Azpilicueta. Corner.
That's that position where he becomes spare. It comes down this left-hand side. They change it, and he gets himself in a real aggressive position as the right-sided centre-back. And Southampton now have got a cross there. At the moment, they're getting across and getting a block on him, but you've only got to give him that half chance. He'll be picking out Giroud.
Fabregas with the corner kick. McCarthy's made a bit of a mess of that. It's come out to Willian. Got hold of that. That would have hurt. Hit poor old Cedric. He'll feel that.
That's a great block. I think he may have took it right on the forehead, which probably saved him because it seemed to be hitting the target at pace. Great defending.
Tell you what, somebody's going to need some aspirin at half-time, I think.
But at least it wasn't a cold day.
Big night, massive night for Arsenal. First leg of their semi-final against the favourites, Atletico Madrid. Thursday, 7:30, BT Sport 2 HD for that one. And the other semi, Marseille against Salzburg at 8 o'clock on BT Sport 3 HD.
What a bit of skill that was.
Beautiful.
Rudiger. Incredible. Off the back of his heel, popped it off into midfield and set Chelsea on their way again.
Been a fixture, isn't he, on the left side of that defence? Proved to be one of the better Chelsea signings of recent times.
I think he's one of them centre-backs that's happy being stretched, coming out in the left-back area. I think when Gary Cahill plays in that left channel, and he has done for years, he's not really comfortable getting out there in that left channel, and he prefers to play in the centre like he is today.
A versatile character, Rudiger. He spent a lot of his time at Rome, playing right back last season. Hazard, good dummy. Worked well with Giroud there. It's Emerson again. Behind off Bednarek, and it's already gone for the corner before Cedric's attempt to keep it in.
Yeah, and again, good link-up play between Eden Hazard and Giroud, understanding of each other. Little over by Eden Hazard, but I mean, in fairness to Southampton, they're standing strong, they're defending very well, but it's just how long they can continue taking on this type of pressure and Chelsea probing away, because they're definitely dominating the game, Chelsea, and it feels like it's a matter of time before they get that first one at the minute.
William to curl this in, it's flicked on. Well, it's Azpilicueta who got to the near post there.
The pace of the ball, it was a wonderful free kick. It just goes in front, Azpilicueta, gets a little touch, and not any blue shirt has made movement for that second ball.
It's a classic. It's a classic, that one.
It is.
Near post flick on.
Yeah.
It's usually floated a little bit more, but you still got to read in that second ball.
Arsenal used to do that a lot, didn't they, with Steve Bold?
Yeah, Liverpool with Gary Mack, he used to just dink one on that near post. Once you get that first flick, it normally nullifies the goalkeeper, takes him out of the game, but there wasn't a blue shirt actually switched on to make the runs.
Would have just needed one blue shirt on the back post, and Chelsea would have been in business. Hard work for Southampton. Wesley Hoot is the player down injured, Dutch international defender who's started every game since Mark Hughes took over. Is Hazard again. Can they unlock this determined Southampton defence? And it has been determined. Nothing really for the video assistant referee so far, or our resident referee Graham Poll, who is on standby. It would be a shock if there was nothing before we're through, because it has to be decided today, as you'll know.
Another example there, that ball up to Long. It's been the service to the two strikers up there has been terrible at the moment for Southampton. That's got to improve. Get it on the floor, make one pass into midfield first if they can, and then play it from there.
Been non-existent supply line so far. Romeo up to Lemina. Here's Cedric. Maybe this time they can provide something for Austin or Long. Been feeding on scraps so far.
It's all too hopeful. It doesn't seem to have any real structure or direction to the way that they're playing at the minute, Southampton. It's just off the cuff, and something like that needs to change. Someone needs to get hold of this game, get hold of the ball, show some confidence, make them start playing.
I think, JJ, if you look at the subs, they've got their technicians on the bench at the moment. If they can hang on, that's the positive side for Southampton. If they don't concede, get to half-time, and maybe in the second half, as the game gets stretched, as Chelsea get fatigued, maybe your Tadicles and your Ward-Prowse and Redmond can come on and actually affect the game. Because at the moment, you're absolutely spot on. They've not got enough possession and not got enough movement off the ball.
And Manolo Gabbiadini likes Wembley, doesn't he? 2 goals here last year. He's out of favour at the moment.
Also, one of their strongest weapons that Southampton have is down that left-hand side with Bertrand. And when you don't have that possession on the ball, he can't creep up into that position where he likes to overlap. And I can't remember him even getting down that side at once this half.
It's a little bit more difficult for him because he's got wing-back versus wing-back. Yeah. It works for him better, but he's got a bit of space now.
Bertrand to play this one in. Riviere was waiting for it. It's another wretched ball, really, with possession squandered by Southampton. Will frustrate Mark Hughes. He must be sick of the sight of Chelsea this season. He lost 5-0 and 4-0 against them with Stoke City, and then that 3-2 game, which was a bit of a heartbreaker from a Southampton perspective last week. Here's Rudiger. Chelsea dominating, but it's still 0-0. The feeling Southampton will take that quite happily at half-time and see if they can maybe become more of a threat after the break.
Yeah, definitely. But if you look at it from Chelsea's point of view, have they created anything really clear? I know we had this situation where Willian hit the bar. But apart from that, I think Hazard has threatened a couple of times. The brilliant tackle from Yoshida, but I think they would have expected to create a few more opportunities than they already have.
Giroud with the flick on. He's won the FA Cup 3 times in the last few years with Arsenal. Inside by Emerson to Conte. Chelsea just needing to find a bit more devil in their work, perhaps. Emerson did well there. Nice piece of technical play. Conte. Southampton on the retreat, looking to clog up that midfield. Willian.
You're looking at Southampton, they've got to keep them 3 centre-backs right in there. If they come out there and try and get Hazard or Willian, I think that's when they'll be opened up.
Caballero's clearance isn't a good one. It's gone straight to Cedric. It's not the first time things have gone awry in that department. Lamina, not a good ball. It would help Southampton if they kept the ball a little better.
Well, the centre forwards have had nothing. Not a thing to work off, not a cross, not a ball into their feet.
William. Emerson. Hazard's got to the near post. Nobody's on the back post, though. Moses. Did that go out of play? Yes, it did.
Yeah, Moses was just a little bit slow reading the game. You see Chelsea time and time again. One wing back down the one side. This time it's the left. Emerson and Moses has got to work much harder to get in there, to get into that back post area. He's there. He's arriving too late. You see it from Alonso, actually, from the other side many times. He arrives on that back post. There's Giroud just laying off a little 1-2.
Big game for Swansea coming up on Saturday on BT Sport 1 HD and 4K UHD as they play Chelsea in desperate need of points at the bottom, and they're up against Manchester City today. They'd be the team Southampton might have eyes on, and Southampton and Swansea do meet before the end of the season as well.
It's a biggie, definitely.
Yoshida, by the way, just picked up a yellow card for a challenge in the middle of the field given after the event.
There's that one on Giroud, just studs down the back of the Achilles, maybe.
Hazard here. Can Chelsea get a breakthrough before half-time? To Fabregas. Now, Moses has been quite quiet on that side so far. Bertrand was playing not as wing-back, but as an auxiliary to that defence. It's becoming a 5-man defence at many times. Fabregas towards Giroud. Bednarek got that one away. Here's Willian. And now Emerson. Hazard. Chelsea still frustrated. Another block. Been a lot of them. They have manned those barricades pretty well back there of Southampton.
They have, but Chelsea have been patient. They feel like their opportunity's coming now.
Here's Conte. Hazard again. Azpilicueta joining in, deflection on that again. It's away by Yoshida. "43 minutes of the first half gone, and the statisticians and Graham Poll pointing out to us Chelsea haven't conceded a foul yet in this game. I must say I'm not keeping count, but I believe it.
That's because they got the ball most of the time.
There's a draw response from JJ. Here's Long towards Austin. Need half an opportunity, Charlie Austin, just one.
That's good.
Well there, Bednarek. No added time at the end of the half either.
You just get the feeling that one of these midfield players for Southampton, they've got to be braver. They've got to look, they're standing still, all three of them in there. They've got to want this ball, make angles on each other and try and see if they can penetrate and pass to their front two that they've put in there from a closer distance.
Here's Long. Seems an age ago that he moved over from Ireland to sign for Steve Coppell's Reading. Hoot. Now Ryan Bertrand, who set up a Southampton goal last week with a tremendous run. Tadic got that goal, but he's on the bench this week. Yoshida. Quabier. Romeo. Out to Bertrand. Southampton looking for the smash and grab raid perhaps here. Lamina.
You know, it looks nice because they're on the ball, but they're not testing Chelsea anyway. Chelsea just get the shape. They're almost just jogging into positions. They need to get it wide, get a ball in the box, make the centre halves defend. It's too easy to just pop it around 5 yards here, 5 yards there. You know, play to your strengths. You've got two centre forwards up there. Get it into them.
That's half-time. Mark Hughes set his team up to make things very, very difficult for Chelsea, and that's the way it's proved. Willian did hit the bar. It was a tremendous piece of defensive work from Yoshida as well. Steven Gerrard and Frank Lampard will be with Jake Humphrey at half-time to look back on things. It's half-time of 0-0 here at Wembley.
Swansea against Chelsea next Saturday from 5 o'clock. Swansea currently 4 above the drop zone, so that's a crucial game for them. Right, as you can see, both teams back out for the second half. Let me throw you back to Glenn Hoddle, Jermaine Genius and Ian Dark. Ian.
Thanks a lot, Jake. Thank you, Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard and Francis Benali for the half-time analysis. Southampton wondering and still dreaming, will it be a repeat of the 1976 FA Cup final? Southampton against Manchester United, when Bobby Stokes' late goal gave Southampton then a second division side the FA Cup for the only time in their history. They had a Chelsea legend, Peter Osgood, in the team back then too.
I think that if that's going to happen, Ian, they've got to improve on their Grand National.
A slalom run from Olivier Giroud, a Chelsea goal 28 seconds into the second half, and that was some strike.
It's the sheer composure, Ian, to keep your head in that moment when the ball comes into him. Initially you're thinking, just hit it, but he can see, he can feel exactly what's going on around him. He knows players are going to be diving in to take it onto your right.
Justifying his selection above £58 million Alvaro Morata like this.
He almost gets brought down for the penalty as well, but he just manages, doesn't he, to poke his right foot. He loves scoring against Southampton.
He does.
Yeah, 8 in 12 goals, games against them. He's got Long to play it forward. Long again goes down in the box. Fabregas' challenge. Referee gives nothing.
It just goes wide of the post.
Graham Poll, what about that?
Yeah, it's a super challenge from Fabregas. Clearly takes the ball and Long knows it and tries to get back up.
Thank you very much indeed. Mike Jones is the video assistant referee. Somewhere near Heathrow Airport in a studio looking at that. Obviously came to the same conclusion. Nothing wrong.
Clever play there from Austin. He's made that run in behind. They haven't got in behind that Chelsea defence too many times, but very cleverly back heels, knows exactly where the defender is and gains a corner and takes the pressure off the Saints.
Southampton caught cold at the start of the second half. After so much sterling defensive work in the first half. They have a corner here though. Maybe had to play it in. Romeo was attacking it, and the referee's given a free kick to Chelsea.
It's brilliant defending from Gary Cahill because the ball was quality. It's just about going and attacking it. But he's strong in there. He's got Romeo all over his back. It's the right call from the referee.
Chelsea on course for a meeting with Manchester United in the final. Plenty of football left in this yet. That counts as, for the stats anyway, as a first attempt on target for Chelsea. They did hit the bar, of course, but that doesn't count, apparently.
He really has took his chances since joining Chelsea. I have to say, the fans seem to have really warmed to him. And rightly warranted his start this afternoon.
Hazard brought down, yellow card for Romeo, who has had 20 Premier League yellow cards in the last 2 seasons. Big shift in the plot at the start of the second half here.
Well, it's opened the game up as well. Southampton are already, their back three have pushed up a little bit higher, so I think we're in for a much better half.
Got to do something, haven't they, Southampton? How soon before they bring on Tadic to try to unlock the Chelsea defence a bit. Cedric goes down. It's a notice challenge on him.
Giroud is poor touch, isn't it? He's panicked on it a little bit. It's a lovely bit of a dummy from Austin.
It was Southampton's best piece of play of the whole game, that. Really brilliant dummy from Austin. And Long will be kicking himself, attacking the end as well, Southampton, where all their fans are gathered. Sea of red and white at that end of the stadium.
And it's woke him up. And I think that's the positive thing for Mark Hughes. His players seem to have come to life for him finally.
Lamina inside, that was a good ball as well. Romeo, maybe a bit more spark, and it's a much more open game as well now, but Chelsea might profit from that. Hazard is taken out of it by Lamina, who gets a yellow for his pains.
He's just been dragged back there, hasn't he, Hazard? But they've just got to watch themselves, the Saints. They've got Romeo's got a real big decision to make, whether he gets involved in the play. We see him there just trying to put a ball in the penalty area. He's got to make sure that Chelsea can't counter. He's got to be disciplined and sit if the Saints are attacking.
Aspilicueta in towards Willian. He tries the dummy. That wasn't effective as the Austin run at the other end. And Giroud's taken a knock there. He's lying down, needing some treatment as well. Still in some pain as the play goes on.
Well, it's a strong tackle from Romeu.
He's already been booked.
My first thought was he won the ball, but he just won it, you know, with a very strong tackle. I think it's the follow-through where Giroud's ankle kind of gets caught up in it. You can see there he gets contact on the ball. It's the thigh, the left thigh, that seems to have just rocked Giroud's ankle. It's a fair challenge. It's not a second yellow for me.
No, I agree with you, JJ. Good tackle, got there first. His body has to come through. It's not reckless. He's won the ball. He hasn't gone over the top.
Let's see what Graham Poll thinks of that challenge.
Yeah, I think JJ and Glenn have called that absolutely right. He's caught the ball lovely. It's a good challenge, but the follow-through just catches. Some referees might give a free kick, but it's definitely not a yellow card challenge. Already on one, of course, so definitely not sent off.
You did worry a little bit there, though, for Giroud with his standing leg. I think he just about got it off the floor in time. Otherwise, you would have won it. But he's still in some difficulty with that.
Yeah, he seems in trouble. There can be nasty ones, though. Just you tweak a few ligaments. I'm sure he'll try and carry on, but you can tell he's in a lot of trouble. They're trying to ice it. Not sure how much that's going to do.
Look at the balance he shows here for a big man. Left foot, right foot, the extra little touch there. He might have gone down for the penalty, but no way. As a striker, he's 2 yards out. Stick it in. We'll worry about that afterwards. What a fantastic goal from the big fella.
It really was.
Almost like tiptoeing through the tulips, wasn't he?
Yeah,
it was tremendous goal, really, from Giroud. What composure.
It was brilliant. It really was. And we spoke about the warning signs for Southampton, about giving people like Cesc Fabregas time on the ball to pick players out, and it was him that picked out Hazard that started the whole thing off, but the goal was sensational.
Well, he won't want to come off, that's for certain, having won his place ahead of Morata. There was some talk maybe Chelsea would play them both, as they did at Burnley in the week, but Antonio Conte has gone in another direction, and you'd have to say at the moment it's paying off. Chelsea have won the FA Cup 5 times this millennium. They reached another couple of finals as well as that. Lamina to play it forward. Here's Shane Long. Again, not able to bring it under control. Fabregas pickpocketed the ball. Here's Hazard. On and on he goes. Giroud! And Southampton just about crowd out and snap out that attack. But they've given it straight to Conte. Fabregas. Giroud again. He's obviously okay after that knock. Again, Southampton squander possession.
I think Shane Long's got to get himself together. I think he's struggling after that big miss. The 3 last touches he's had have just bounced right off him. Just needs to get his composure back. It happens as strikers, you miss chances, obviously.
It was a massive moment, you feel, in this game for Southampton. Conte to lay it forward. Here's Moses. Back to Willian. Fabregas has found Willian, and the goalkeeper comes to get it thanks to a bit of help from Bertrand.
Again, it's that Fabregas pass, isn't it? If they make movement in front of him, he'll hit them into feet or in behind, just waiting for that killer pass.
He hits that many, Glenn, as well, that as a back 3 you automatically start to drop off because you're worrying about that ball in behind.
Time for Dusan Tadic to be introduced, and there might be more than one substitution by the look of the activity on that Southampton bench.
I think that would have been in Mark Hughes' mind for the start. Can we get through this game? Can we get to 70 minutes and then bring the likes of Tadic and Redmond on? Because for 90 minutes, I'm not sure they could deal with opening the game up. But obviously now they've gone 1-0 down. He's going to make that change a little bit earlier.
Long is going to come off, we understand. And we'll see Nathan Redmond as well as Dusan Tadic. So now that Mark Hughes knows that things have to change. Long crowded out of it. Hasn't been his half, this, not yet. Get involved with Conte as well there. He chooses to make nothing of it. Handbags, really.
Conte's too smart to be getting involved in things like that. You know, he sees the bigger picture.
I bet he's still driving that Mini as well. Doesn't go in for posh flash cars or anything like that.
He's just, you know, an exemplary type of player that any manager, I'm sure, past or present, would have dreamt of having in their side. I'd love to play alongside him, because half the job for you, and the rest actually.
It's almost like having two players in one. The amount of work he covers.
It was just a shame that he needed to be the calmest player on the pitch when he had that chance, but he just tightened up, didn't he?
Here's Cedric. Deflection on that cross. Caballero, so a very, very good punch. Long stays down, thought he might have been impeded. It's a hopeful appeal.
I think those Saints fans thought Gary Cahill had a bit of his shirt, or give him a little nudge.
Jesus does have to keep that in, but there'll be a free kick. Now, what about that challenge in the penalty area just now, Graham? Pole again, to have a look at this.
Yeah, you can see Long's back in as much as Cahill's holding, and he throws himself to the ground. There's not enough contact for a penalty. Martin Atkinson, good decision.
Chelsea are going to bring on Bakayoko, and these two substitutions here. Tadic, who started the last 15 Southampton games, so it was a shock he was left out. It's usually a key player for them. He replaces Shane Long, who'll probably wake up in the night reliving that chance he had at Wembley.
Big chance it was, big chance.
Højbjerg coming off as well here. On comes Nathan Redmond, the man who was famously given that pep talk by Pep Guardiola at Manchester City.
And for Chelsea, in midfield number 22, Willian, he's been replaced by number 14.
And it's Willian who is going to make way here. Doesn't look too happy about it, does he?
I don't think the fans sound too happy about it either. And there's a player that's the favourite of the fans at Chelsea. He's obviously looking to just tighten up that midfield area, given the changes that Southampton have made themselves.
You can hear the boos, can't you? All the Chelsea fans are clapping Willian, but they're booing the decision. But I can understand from Conte, he's just seen that Southampton have put some offensive players on. He's going to try and counteract that. They can still get the ball to Hazard. They've still got enough going forward, and then tactically it's probably the right thing to do. Look, he's not happy, the lad, understandably, but Bakayoko will go and stiffen things up there and make a three.
And there's a contender for the slowest walk off the pitch ever, I think, that from Willian.
He's straight down the tunnel as well.
Yeah. Not happy. And that's a side issue here. And Glenn has explained, I think, the manager's thinking. Here's Hazard. A muscular challenge by Holt, twice over, in fact. And Hazard stays down at the end of it.
He just needs to stand up there, Hoot. He got away with the first one.
Yellow card for him.
Yeah, he's just got to keep him in that corner, but after the first lunge he got away with it. He just makes that stupid foul and gets himself on a yellow. There's a few now for Southampton that are on yellows. 4, in fact. It's
Yoshida, Hoot, Romeo and Lamina. Fabregas to take the free kick. Another Chelsea goal you think would put them virtually in the final. Plays it in Yoshida.
I mean, if
it got it away.
If it was a better ball at one point, I think Lamina was picking up Bakayoko and Giroud. I know they're marking zonally, but they could have found him. I mean, it was a tough one for Lamina to have to deal with.
Well, that's the problem with zonal, isn't it? You're in one zone defensively, but if there's 3 players going there, what are you going to do?
Moses. By the way, those 4 Southampton yellow cards, 3 of them have been for challenges on this man, Eden Hazard. He is a marked man, that's for certain.
Well, he draws fouls on people, doesn't he? He's looked so sharp today. His feet are so quick, and he looks up for it. You almost feel like there's a Real Madrid scout in the stadium.
What are you trying to suggest there, then, Glenn?
Well, let's wait and see.
We'll wait and see. Like everything else, is Lamina. Tadic's first involvement, and Bertrand. Southampton with a threat here. The cross is too long.
It's better though. It's no surprise. You're bringing a player who's much more comfortable on the ball, playing in between the pockets in midfield, and you get your other danger man into the game. Then making runs down the outside, little ball into him. Obviously, the cross needs to be better from Bertrand, but that's how Southampton get their goals.
4 red and white shirts in there. That's the first time they've done it all day.
Can Southampton turn this around? Lamina with the determined run. There'll be a corner kick. Decision by Simon Bennett, the official on that side. Different cast list for Southampton. Can they find a different kind of outcome? Curled in towards the near post. Austin is appealing. It's another corner kick.
It's fizzed in. Another corner that's fizzed in, and well, Austin gets a good header at it. It's coming back away from it. Lovely little glancing header. Big appeals for handball, but I don't think so.
And obviously the video assistant referee will have just had a check of that as well. Constant monitoring goes on, that's how it works. Another corner, looking for that near post flick on every time with Bednarek. Worked in the first half nearly for Chelsea with Azpilicueta. Bakayoko out there has had a difficult first season, I think it's fair to say, at Chelsea. Been in the cooler a bit lately, out of the team a lot of the time.
The Southampton are right at it now. This is a good little spell of play for them. Just whether they can capitalise on it. 3 successive corners. Need a good delivery here from Tadic.
It's the most concerted spell of Southampton pressure in the game. It's well defended by Chelsea. Cedric looking to keep it alive. Tadic's long cross towards Charlie Austin. Gary Cahill beating him in the air. Here's Redmond. Now claims for handball, but only from the Southampton fans. Mocked up by Lamina, but there are signs that Southampton have just upped the tempo a little.
They seem happier. It feels like players are playing in positions where they're more comfortable to get on the ball and make things happen. Bertrand is now taking the risks and making overlapping runs, whereas before he was holding back a little bit, and that's purely and simply because sometimes you look at a player and you think, you're not going to play that ball, there's no point in me going. Whereas now the movements and players seem to be doing the right things.
They've also released the fear. They've gone 1-0 down. They looked fear first half to pass the ball and receive the ball. That fear's gone out of their game, and now they've got the offensive players on. They're having a go.
Clear foul by Bednarek on Olivier Giroud. Southampton did score twice here in the Premier League this season against Tottenham. The problem was they let in 5 that day. Chelsea, of course, did win here against Spurs early on in the season, and the absent Alonso today got both the goals. Giroud, good idea, trying to pick up Fabregas's run. Bertrand, the Southampton skipper, doing the covering. Hazard looking to skip past those players again. Oh, look at that, the Rabona this time. Well, he's really decided to turn it on, hasn't he? How about that for a cameo?
No, it's brilliant from Eden Hazard. You know, he's putting on a right show today. Every time he gets on the ball, the confidence.
Throw in fact, on that side after Fabregas's attempt to hit the byline and get a cross in. 20 minutes left. Chelsea-Manchester United would be a repeat of the 1994 final and 2007 final. Bakayoko now. To Emerson on that side. Bakayoko to play this one in towards Giroud, who has been lively. He's a clever player. He's not a pacey player, but he's a clever player. Saw it with the goal. Tadic now. Must have been a bit shocked when Mark Hughes gave him the news he wasn't going to be in the team for an FA Cup semi.
No, I think Hazard will be looking to bend that in the top corner, but great play again from keeper and the attacker.
Yeah, I think it was because it was so quick and he had to shift it. It was much preferred to try and slide that one into the corner, but it was so quick. Good save for McCarthy in the end, though.
McCarthy, who's been to Wembley 4 times with England, Reading, and a couple of times with Southampton, and always been on the bench and never got on. He has here. Here's Emerson. Now Moses. 2 signs just recently that Chelsea might have to work here, or will they add a second? It's nicely poised. Here's Azpilicueta for Chelsea, leading by a goal to 0 here, scored by Olivier Giroud, and a very cool goal it was too. Azpilicueta up towards the Frenchman. Foul. This is bringing Graham Poll back on that incident with Caballero a minute or 2 back.
Coming off the field, number 4, Cesc Fabregas.
Yeah, the foul here is clear. It's Austin, a goalkeeper in his own 6-yard area. Once his feet come off the ground, he cannot be touched. Therefore, it's a foul because there's clear contact. VAR doesn't even need to look at it because it's a laws of the game issue. Absolutely right from the referee, Martin Atkinson.
Thank you very much indeed, Graham. As the definitive view from the referee. Pedro about to come on to replace Cesc Fabregas. Pedro, of course, who scored famously here for Barcelona in their epic win against Manchester United in a Champions League final. I think that's the best I've ever seen anybody play that night.
The whole team, you mean?
Yeah.
Not just Pedro, not just Pedro.
Should we let that run? Back to Moses here. Now Pedro's first involvement. Scored twice in the FA Cup run this season and 4 in the run to the final last year. Likes this competition. Bakayoko lays it inside. Inside the last quarter of an hour. Hazard again. It's been a going day for him, and Chelsea have needed that, of course.
Box is spot on, and Southampton just get very fortunate. Comes off the back of Yoshida, somehow doesn't manage to find that top corner.
Well, if Southampton's luck had really been out, that would have nestled in the corner of the net. Would have been a freak one, but it's great play again by Hazard. Moses to play this one in. Emerson blocked by Wesley Hoot. Bertrand. Don't forget Champions League coming up this week. Liverpool's first leg of the big semi-final in the Champions League against Roma is Tuesday 7 o'clock, 4K UHD and BT Sport 2 HD. And on Wednesday, Bayern Munich playing Real Madrid. That's a classic as well. On comes Manolo Gabbiadini, the Italian who started off full of goals at Southampton, not so many since, which is not why he's not in the starting lineup these days. 2 in the League Cup final against Manchester United here last season, though.
He had one chalked off as well, Ian, if I remember, which was a legitimate goal for offside, which was a key moment in that game.
Southampton wishing there would have been VAR then.
Yeah, without a doubt.
With that change, has dropped into a 4 at the back now. Southampton really going for it.
Chelsea are going to bring on Alvaro Morata shortly. Here's Lamina for Southampton. Bertrand. Good ball in towards Gabbiadini, and his first involvement is to get a shot away.
It's Charlie Austin, but you know, the ball from Tadic is spot on. He's just trying to get a shot off Charlie Austin. I think he was offside in the end, though.
Olivier Giroud did pick up a little bit of a knock earlier, getting a standing ovation from the Chelsea supporters, and this is the reason why.
Well, he's a match winner at the minute. He's had a decent afternoon as well, Giroud. You can tell that him and Hazard like playing in the same team together. They'll link up well. It's an opportunity now for Morata to do exactly what Giroud has been doing when coming off the bench, to replace him and put in a performance, or maybe get that goal that gets them through to the final.
I think it's a shrewd move from Conte again, because I think what you'll find, they've gone into a 4 Southampton. They will push their fullbacks forward, and Morata can make that little searching run in behind them. Better probably than Giroud, who's had a knock and is fatigued.
Hazard here for Chelsea. It's very well played by Wesley Hoot. Hazard's got it back again, though. Back to Conte, now Bakayoko. Now Pedro. Chelsea looking for the second goal that would help them to breathe easily in the closing stages. Pedro. Well defended.
Side the post, and it's the little bit of breather that Chelsea need, because I felt this was going to be a really difficult 10 minutes for them, but now they can just breathe a little bit easier. Southampton have got to throw everything forward and everything at them.
15th goal of the season that for Alvaro Morata, and it arrived 86 seconds after he'd come on the pitch.
Well, it was only in the week when he was absolutely fuming, getting taken off the pitch when he didn't feel like he should be. He'll feel a lot better now. And from Southampton's point of view, you know what he's capable of, you know where he's dangerous. He's scored so many headed goals this season.
Europa League, Arsenal's big night Thursday in the semi-final, first leg against Atletico. BT Sport 2 HD for that, and the Marseille-Salzburg game on BT Sport 3. Here's
towards goal.
He should have scored. He should have done better. Hazard might have been offside. It was very, very close.
And there's a real ebb and flow to this now.
He's been absolutely brilliant today, Hazard. He either goes by you left or right.
Swansea against Chelsea this Saturday, 5 o'clock on BT Sport 1 HD. And here are Chelsea looking to add to their lead. Azpilicueta, long ball, and here's Morata again. massive opportunities he's had since he's been on the pitch. One he's put away, two, no.
And that one was created with a very subtle bit of movement. He just drew himself square, and it was a lovely flighted ball. Again, might have ended up having a hat-trick already.
It was a much more difficult chance, though.
Yeah,
I thought. Yeah, it was, you know, with the angle and the touch where he took it, kind of closed his angle towards goal, but great. There's a lot of opportunities out there for him, as you can see.
And Southampton can come up with something dramatic late on, and it'll be back to the relegation fight for them, but they haven't given this up yet, that's clear. Austin again on the near post. He's getting on the end of a few things.
Yeah, he is. Again, it's a difficult one, though. You know, he always likes to take these on, doesn't shy away from an opportunity, but when it's bouncing that high, it's always difficult. This is the earlier situation. Oh, he's fortunate there, Caballero. He really is. Almost comes off the inside of his forearm, behind him.
He was fortunate, but he actually, in the end, the ball swerved, and it swerved really late on him.
Yeah.
And he did well to get anything on it. So, but he was very fortunate. It hasn't gone in, nestled in the corner. Southampton, you've got to say, have been very, very unfortunate.
Well, you think about certain situations, the post, there's a few things that have happened. Even, you know, Graham Poll said it was a foul, and probably really rightly so, but that could have gone anyway on any other day.
And here comes Southampton again. Certainly showing some fight and spirit here, and asking a few questions too. Tadic looked more of a threat predictably since he came on. Cedric now. There's Tadic again. And this time it might be a problem for Caballero. .5 minutes played. Chelsea are nearly there. Looks like this one will be going with the form book, but that scoreline doesn't tell the whole story.
Well, both subs that have come on, Southampton, obviously Gabardini's coming a bit later, but I think the two subs, Redmond and Tadic, have transformed this performance from Southampton. And I think if Chelsea hadn't got this second one, you'd fancy that they'd be right on the front foot in these last minutes.
Which raises the question, should they have started with those two and been a bit bolder?
Well, if they were, I think for 90 minutes to play like that, I think Chelsea, this game is open now,
yeah.
Ian. And to play 90 minutes like this against Chelsea, I think they'd have been in big trouble. But if they could have just kept it at 1 and not conceded, or even get past that halfway stage and then go 20 minutes without conceding, this plan could have worked for them, you could see, but it just hasn't worked out in this second half.
Here's Tadic. And the cross is too long for Gabbiadini, who was waiting in the middle.
And unfortunately for Mark Hughes, as we see him there, it kind of falls right in line with what the performances have been like since his arrival. A good 45 minutes here, and a decent 60 minutes, 70 minutes against Chelsea last week, same against Arsenal kind of the week before that. Just can't seem to put the full display together.
And when they do have moments of 20 minutes like they have, they've got to score. Crucial time to score when you're playing well.
Totally agree.
Creating chances. If you don't score, then you're in trouble.
Shaping up as the season from hell, really, for Mark Hughes, because it could be, after all his fine achievements as a manager, he could be involved with 2 of the 3 clubs who get relegated if things stay as they are at the bottom. Worth remembering, he finished 9th 3 times in a row with Stoke City. And his top half finishes at Blackburn as well. Tadic lays it back. Justin lays it wide. Cedric gets the cross in. Lemina's trying to make something of that. It does stay in play. Here's Bertrand this time. Away by Rudiger. Chelsea, there's always the possibility they'll get another one on the break. Hazard. Morata's making a run deep. Hazard knows he's there. Instead, he plays it to Moses, who plays it back to Hazard. And now Southampton have got a lot of players back. Hazard again, chipping one up.
Well, I think
who's the man of the match, do you think, here then?
I'm pretty sure me and Glenn will be in agreement. I'm not sure, but I'll go with Eden Hazard myself personally. I don't know if I'm speaking on behalf of Glenn, but I think he's been exemplary today. I really do. I think he's been a spark throughout Chelsea's performance from start to finish.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, JJ.
Thank goodness for that.
He's looked to cut above anyone else on that pitch. Every time he's had the ball, he's either gone left or right, beaten people, or he's been brought down.
Yeah, I mean, the goal from Giroud was brilliant, and it will get played time and time again. He's been the difference.
Emerson with a nice run, heavy touch from Morata there. He's been much involved one way and another since his introduction. Hazard, you do wonder, there's all this speculation about his future. How would Chelsea replace a player as good as him?
Not easy is the simple answer, Ian. As simple as that.
Going to be 6 wins on the bounce for Chelsea over Southampton. Antonio Conte is going to take Chelsea to the FA Cup final for the 2nd year in a row.
Yeah, he's gone on record saying that he felt that they let themselves down last year. But be fair to Arsenal, they played extremely well on the day. But I think he's had his eye on this FA Cup since that quarter-final sort of period. I think he thought, yeah, hang on, there's unfinished business there.
He won't have wrote off the league yet as well. You know, they're just creeping up on Tottenham. 5 points behind him at the minute, I think they are.
Charlie Austin involved with the referee and sent on his way. Man City are beating Swansea by 2-0. That is at least some good news for Mark Hughes and Southampton, who are 4 points behind Swansea in the first of the safety positions. And a reminder that Southampton and Swansea do meet before the end of the season as well. That game is at Swansea. And Southampton's last game is Manchester City at home. They last relegated in 2005, and they had Jamie Redknapp, Peter Crouch, Graham Lasso in their team then. Difficult season to be a Southampton fan, that's for certain. Here's the man of the match, Hazard, playing it inside for Pedro. Romeo with the challenge. It'll be a free kick.
You just see him getting back there. He gets his body. He hasn't done too much, but I was thinking you're on a yellow card already. He did well to possibly make the foul without getting the 2nd yellow card.
Closing seconds, a feeling that it's all academic now. Looks like being a Chelsea-Manchester United confrontation at Wembley in mid-May.
He's done enough on the day, Chelsea. You know, stepped up in the right moments to get the job done.
Here's Azpilicueta. Cute little ball. Hazard involved again. Nearly an own goal by Wesley Holt, but Southampton have spared that.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like they were going to keep the ball, and then I think Hazard decided, actually, let's try and go and get one more.
Conte for Chelsea on their way to their 8th FA Cup final of the millennium.
get the decisions that a lot of the bigger sides do. It's almost too easy to blow the whistle against a side like Southampton as it would be against the Chelsea or a Liverpool, somebody like that. It's not a foul, and the ball is over the line. That would have got them back into the game. Yes, they had a great chance with Shane Long earlier in the game. There was a great save from Caballero as well, but those sort of decisions are what turn games like that in situations like this.
And we'll hear from Graham Poll on this, actually. He'll join us live before too long. But let's remember, we've got VAR here, so it wasn't just Martin Atkinson, the referee. Michael Jones, who's back at Stockley Park at the VAR headquarters, was watching it as well, decided not to intervene. Even as a former Chelsea player, do you think it was a foul?
No, it wasn't a foul, as far as I'm concerned. And VAR, I don't know if that's an issue. What I was interested to hear was Graham Poll say that you can't touch the goalkeeper in a 6-yard box. I mean, you might as well give him a VIP rope and a bouncer. If nobody can go in there and compete against him, you can't protect him that much. I don't get it. It's not a foul. It should have been a goal for Southampton.
Right, Graham, have your defence ready. We'll join you live very soon. You've heard what the lads have got to say. We'll hear what you make of it, having had time to reflect. So disappointing for Southampton today, but certainly job done for Chelsea. Let's get some reaction with Des.
Thanks very much, Jacob. Got Eden Hazard and Olivier Giroud here. Eden, congratulations. A second FA Cup final in a row. Deserved?
Deserved, fully deserved. I think we play a very good game, especially the second half. We create a lot of chance. We score beautiful goals, especially Olivier. No, I think, well, yes, it's fully deserved. Now we go through the final, and you know the target when you are in the final is to win the final. We lost last year against him, so now we just want to win.
Eden's mentioned the goal, Olivier. That was a lovely goal. You were winding through the bodies. It was like a slalom skier.
Yeah, my second passion is actually skiing. So now to be serious, Eden gave me a good ball, but I've seen a lot of players in front of me. I just try to dribble a little bit, you know.
Somebody's throwing more to you. Dribble a bit more now.
And I had a bit of luck, but that's what I wanted to do. So at the end of the day, yeah, I'm very pleased for the team because we've done a great job all together as we wanted to do. We are in a good momentum. We want to keep it up, and yeah, I told them that I really want them to enjoy the FA Cup because I know what kind of feeling is it, and I mean, it's like my garden, and I love to play here, and I've been unbeaten here. So hopefully, for the final, we're gonna keep it up. Yeah.
Back to your garden. What did the manager say at half-time? Because it worked. 28 seconds later, he had a goal.
To keep the ball, just keep the ball, try to play our football, keep possession, and then create chance. And when you score early in the second half, you know the game is easier. If you don't concede, yeah, you control the game, you create chances, and then we saw the result.
It's a lot of competition for places up, particularly up front, Olivier, but you're staking your claim for a starting place in the final.
For me, it's not important for me. We still have 4 games to play. Championship now, we put the FA Cup on the side. We are very pleased with the final, but now focus on championship, and we're going to believe till the end as long as mathematically it's going to be possible.
And a final against Manchester United, Eden, something to look forward to?
Sorry?
A final against Manchester United, something to look forward to?
No, I think it's good. You know, it's always good to play against them. We play both in the league. We won one. They won at Old Trafford, so yeah, kind of final. It's very good, this kind of game.
Been named man of the match. You have to fight over it in French.
We share the bottle. We will share the bottle.
Very nice. There they go, both in brilliant form today. Both played their part. What a goal that was from Olivier Giroud. But that man, Eden Hazard, having criticised his own performances for the past couple of months, turned it on when it mattered. And as you heard there, he's looking forward to the game against Manchester United live on BT Sport in the final.